going to stay conservative, run the ball here on third down.
Here's Richardson. He takes it in for his first NFL touchdown. And Pittman takes it inside the 20, the 10, towards the end zone. Touchdown on 2nd and 28. The Colts capitalize. Richardson to Pittman, 39 yards.
Yo, good evening, everybody. It's your boy, Leroy. Finally got our guy, Trev, back, and Zach is here with us tonight as well. Appreciate everybody joining us in. I'm going to get this shared around. Hope everybody's weekend and has been going great. Yeah, man. Trev, why don't you start us off, man? It's good to finally have you back, man. My guy.
It's good to be back, dude. For those of y'all that don't know or have been following the stream for a while, I've been at a school for the past 2 months, so wasn't able to do this as regularly as I like to, or at all, really. But it's good to be home, man. Get back on the show with the guys. Finally, summer's starting to wind down in terms of the off season, so we're finally at some preseason football, dude.
Yeah. Zach, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm good, bro. Spent the morning chilling with some family. Spent the evening waiting for the show to start. So,
hell yeah. There we go. That's a good way to get us going.
What's up, Chad?
Yeah, Chad. First one here to pop in the chat as usual. Just want to say shout out to the USA. Shout out to them guys for getting the gold, going over there and getting the gold medal. I do not care for the we didn't blow everybody out fans. We were just having that conversation backstage.
Yeah.
Shout out to our guys for getting that gold and bringing it home, man, getting the job done. Chef Curry coming through.
Going crazy in the fourth, man. Dude, I think the biggest thing people need to realize, too, as far as the we didn't blow everybody out crowd, dude, that gap has closed over the years, dude.
Facts.
It might be our sport that we made, but everyone's good at it now. We've seen that. Serbia was a close game. The French made a couple runs. Obviously, Curry took us away in the fourth, but that was a close game at parts. So there's no more gap. Everyone is good at basketball now. Everyone has their players. So as long as we're winning gold and we're staying on top, it's still going to be a fight to get there.
Absolutely.
As long as we win, that's all that matters. Yeah. W's a W. I don't care if it's by 35 points or one. So
exactly the same way that I was feeling about all of it, man. I've been giving Devin or not Devin, what's his name? Noah Lyles, been giving him some crap for what he said about USA a few years ago. But man, just so we had a little conversation about that going into that. I know that was it's not really Colts related, but we were just talking about how would you guys possibly see USA or not USA, but the Olympic tournament 2028 going on, and who would be going out there, because obviously we won't have our old guys anymore. We were just talking about how many guys would go out there, and a lot of them at our positions would probably be guards and wings, and we don't really have any bigs that we'd be sending out there in 2028.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I mean, you think for certain this had to be LeBron's last one. Very likely Curry's last one.
Till he coaches.
Yeah, for sure. Sure, he'd still be involved in some area, right? But as a player, KD, this might be his last one. I mean, he's kind of in that range. So you're looking at really our main contributors from this Olympic team that probably won't be on the next Olympic team. So you got to look at all these guys that were on the bench and guys that weren't even on the team that will be the main contributors the next time around.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something. Oh, go ahead, Zach.
I think of a few bigs that, I don't think any bigs on our roster currently, how the roster is constructed, would play. So, you'd have to go and get guys in the league. And I was just talking about how, it'd probably be Zion Williams, Jaren Jack Jr.
Oh, yeah, we do got Triple J. Triple J probably be one of those guys.
I talked about that Cooper Flagg kid, but he'll be a young gun in the league 4 years from now. He'll be 3 years in the league.
I want to say that might be his I guess he'd probably have a good shot to get some good minutes by the end if it'd be. I mean, I wasn't thinking about I was thinking him more of NFL terms rather than NBA terms. Come out.
But
after being one and done.
As for bigs, America don't turn out big men anymore. I mean,
I mean,
It's all guards and wings. It depends, obviously, because Anthony Davis is a wing in my opinion. He don't
Yeah,
need
but
to be playing.
AD would be
He don't need
35 by then.
uniform, right? But he don't need to be playing 5, and they played him 5 during the Olympics. So a guy like that, is a
And he
solid
had 2 other guys to rotate with him
right,
this year.
right.
Yeah, I think it's interesting just seeing too, like the way American basketball has evolved, and like each country kind of has its style and has its position or its type of player that really seems to excel in that role. Like America, as you were saying, like we produce so many high level guards. I think that's probably because guys like Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, that they grow up watching and now emulating. So all these guys are just incredible. Meanwhile, like big men has kind of fallen off in the American game. But hopefully, 4 years from now, we got at least 2 or 3 that we can bring with us to go and dominate again.
Yeah, they're gonna have to find them. Otherwise, some other country's gonna come ready to play. So,
well, I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
I mean, you look up north, you look at Canada. That team's loaded, and they didn't even have their best big. Zach Edey pulled out because he just got drafted. So, like in 4 years, when he's there, you had that, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. All them dudes that Canada has, they're 10 guys.
They got a good roster. They just got to figure some stuff out.
Yeah,
but they're sneaky good. Australia could be sneaky good.
It's
Germany,
an uphill
Spain,
battle
France.
Going forward, international basketball wise.
Yeah, plus you can't forget we still gonna have some guys like Jokic in the way. Wemby's clearly gonna still be there.
Luka, Giannis.
Hey, they got some home cooking. I'm sorry, Paris, but like.
I don't know. Many of them will be playing that far down the line because we think about what we've seen from KD, Steph, and LeBron. It's not really something that we're going to see guys playing in the year 10 and 12 really still trying to play for.
Those are the outliers.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes down the road. Chad saying here he's live from Las Vegas out here in Raider Nation. Make sure you let them know, Chad, that they're not the real Raider Nation.
Tell them about Minshew while you're down there too, man.
The stepchild out there.
Hey, he's gonna get beat out in camp, man. Have you followed any of him?
Let's say people have been saying O'Connell looks pretty good.
Yeah, but he's been looking like dog crap.
I think he looks like Gardner Minshew, man.
I think it's hilarious because you guys would be shocked what other fan bases say about Gardner Minshew.
Oh, I know.
They got a lot of respect for that guy, and I just
I respect the hell out of him.
Yeah,
I don't, but I respect him as a person. But on the football field,
right?
Man, I thank you for what you did, but I'm glad we got
it. I think some fan bases absolutely like overvalue what he brings as a player. I mean, he's going to give you everything he's got, but that's a question of what he's got. He's going to try. He's going to do his damn best, but I don't know.
I wasn't hot on it, but yeah, Chad, let them know that QB battle will not be fun to see. What's up, Ash? We've had a lot going on. Matt was moving. I ended up moving out of nowhere, which is a surprise. Trev's been busy with school, and then we already know Damon's got too many weddings and golf parties going on.
I just took weekends off because I don't like doing solo shows. To be honest, like not having people here and me looking blankly into a camera when there's people out there I can't see. I don't do solo shows. It'll be kicking with the crew. Zach stuttering, and we can't be having that.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I did a couple solo shows, man, and they are tough ones to do, especially the last solo show I did. I got lucky because we had a pretty large crowd, so they were helping me out with some conversation and stuff like that. Right. It's a tough one to try and get through when you don't have a.
This is more ideal having the crew together, man. And now that we're finally approaching football season again, we'll endeavor to be a lot more consistent.
Yeah, Ash. So hopefully we'll be back completely here. But let's get into some Colts, man. What most of the people came in here for tonight. Obviously, everybody knows we got the Denver Broncos tomorrow. I believe we should get to see the rookie Bo Nix. And then our starters will play about a series or two, which would equal out to about I'm guessing somewhere around 8 to 20 snaps.
Sure.
So we'll see how that goes. But what are you guys looking most forward to as we get into?
Yeah, I think the big key I just want to see, obviously, Anthony Richardson looks great in practice, great on film, all that, but it is different being in a game. And granted, it's only a preseason game, but I really want to see that shoulder. I'd like to see him just air a couple out and just to dispel any worries anybody might have. And I'm interested to see that slot receiver position too. I read something that they're going to try out multiple guys in the slot tomorrow, just to give people different reps. So that should be interesting to see.
Yeah, it looks like the word was that A.D. Mitchell has even been playing some slot, but it's most likely going to be some Anthony Gold, and then I believe Ashton Doolin should be playing there as well. So we'll see how that goes from this one. Slot. Zach, what are you looking forward to tomorrow?
Believe it or not, we were talking about this with Will Levis taking a crazy hit. If you're watching a preseason game, took a wild hit in San Francisco. I kind of want to see AR get hit just to get it done and get it over with.
Sure.
Like I just want to see him get out, use his legs, show everybody, hey, what happens? A freak. I'm still gonna do my thing. We're still gonna play ball, but if we need it, I'll go get it. Like I don't want him to be shy. Like because I feel like sometimes after injuries, guys get gun shy, or they played scared because I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt, and then they get hurt again. So I just hope there's an opportunity. Probably won't be because it's preseason. You're going to see real vanilla looks, a lot of inside gives, maybe a quick pitch out on RPO, something like that. But, I just want to see, if given the opportunity, AR take full advantage and cut it loose, and go get it if it's there.
I do think some form of contact, and I won't ever say this about the quarterback, but I think in this situation, it'd be nice for him, like you said, just get one hit just so we can all let out a sigh of relief and be like, all right, he can take a hit. He's a football player. He's freaking 6'5", 230 pounds. He's okay.
250.
Yeah, so there you go. Dude's massive. But
CJ Beathard just threw a touchdown.
Get that one hit out of the way. I think, too, another thing – you saying CJ Beathard made me think of it. I'd like to see what our backup quarterbacks look like. Obviously, we know Joe Flacco, what he's capable of, but I want to see a couple series from our number 3 guys. The rookie we brought in, even freaking.
Yeah,
Sam
I was gonna kind of go down the list on that one because me and Zach did actually talk about that last week because we were talking about AR, who we didn't think we'd see a whole lot of, but then we remembered that we had the Broncos, who we don't have a joint practice with. So this is clearly the game that we likely see AR. And then next week and the week after that, we got 2 joint practices, so we don't see much of them. And then with Flacco's age, there's really no reason to put him in the preseason game. So, so we'll kind of run through that list here. But to you guys' point, I just wanted to get back to a quote that we had here from AR, just because of what you just said, Trev. Everybody asked and questions and how ready for Anthony Richardson to just take that hit, just get the jitterbugs off.
Yeah.
And James Boyd had asked him, was there any worries or what was his potential of being hit again? And he basically just said, "Hey man, it's football." He said, "This is the full quote here. I don't think there's anything that people should be worried about because I'm not worried about getting hit or anything. I'm 100% ready. My shoulder can handle it." And then he asked him, "Was there any mental hurdles?" He just said, "No." So, so for anybody still having any kind of worries that way, I also think that it's totally fine too. I have clearly seen him throwing the ball. He's launching it from sideline to sideline, which is, I believe it's 52.5 or 53 yards from sideline to sideline.
53.
So, 53. So he's throwing that with ease. So, I mean, I clearly see him coming in healthy. So I'm not worried about it at all.
Yeah, man, just get one out of the system. Freaking take a little contact, brush it off. I mean, dude's young. He's probably arguably one of the most athletic people in the league, regardless of position. There's absolutely no reason anyone should be worried about taking a hit. It's just how last season went, where you have that concern. But just get one out of the way, show he's good to go, and then we carry on from there.
Yeah. I totally get where you're coming from. I know most people would say, because I pretty much have this conversation all the damn time. It's pretty annoying to be truthful with you. But most division rivals think that we should be worried about it or question it for not worried. Me personally, I'm not worried about it.
No,
I think
it's good, man.
I just think that when you're the type of athlete that he is, you're more so only thing that you want to see is can my body still do what it's supposed to do? And he said that when he did that the reverse dunk that he did backwards was just the proof of concept of life for him that I can still do what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
And so I'm just ready to see him go play ball.
Well, and you think too, there was legitimate talk last season of, hey, if we make the playoffs, he might be able to come back and suit up in time. Like he recovered from what was a season-ending injury, obviously, but he recovered really quickly. Like there's I don't know. To me, there's really no room for concern over that specific injury. Obviously, in the 5 games we saw, we did see him get banged up several times, several different ways. So I get the concern, but I think with just how athletic he is and how quick he recovered and how young he is, XYZ, he's going to be good to go, man. And also, tomorrow is just one series anyway, so there's no reason to be concerned.
You got anything on that one, Zach?
When it comes to AR, no. Just because I do believe you guys are right. You guys have pretty much said it all. So
for sure. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it then. Just because me personally, I did have some questions about this, and this is one of the parts where I don't like to question Shane just because I really trust what he did after his whole first rookie season as a coach. But it's just some of the things that I question on this depth chart that they put. Obviously, it's unofficial, but it's just one of the things that kind of just pissed me off. We'll go through here, and I'll kind of see what you guys' thoughts about it, some of it as well. And then got my guy Josh in the comments here. He's also not worried about AR's injury. Yeah, exactly. He's from the Horseshoe Huddle podcast. Make sure y'all go check that out as well. I believe they're every Tuesday. So Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe every Tuesday at I want to say about 3 p.m. Eastern time. No, 6 p.m. Eastern time, I think. Something like that.
So that's 3 p.m. Okay, that's 3 p.m. your time.
Something like that, I think so. Not 100% correct in time, but I do believe it's Tuesdays. But they're everywhere. Y'all can check them out. So we got the quarterbacks. Obviously, we know it's not a QB competition, so we got Anthony Richardson as the number 1. The starters will play 1 to 2 series. And then we got Joe Flacco as QB2. Oh, my bad. It was Horseshoe Mob. Why did I think it was Horseshoe Huddle?
Mixed up, man.
I thought that was the same one. I messed that up. My bad.
Shout out Horseshoe Mob, bro.
Yeah, I try and catch y'all every chance I get. So yeah, that's Horseshoe Mob every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, we got Anthony Richardson and we got Joe Flacco, who I don't expect us to see, but obviously he probably will get some reps in there. But the QB battle that Trev was referring to is we got Sam Ellinger as a QB3. Keaton Slovis as QB4, and then Jason Bean as QB5, which is all unofficial. So Trev, since you jumped into that one, what are you most looking forward to from QB 3, 4, and 5?
Yeah, I really like to see that battle. I am interested, just considering the fact that, Grant, we all say we're not concerned, but if QB1 does go down, obviously you have Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's 39 years old. At that point, you are susceptible to injury. So worst case scenario, hopefully doesn't happen. Don't even think about it. But QB3 could be important for us. So I whereas most preseason games, you look at the quarterbacks playing, you're like, I don't really give a damn what happens here. I care about this. I want a guy that can step into the role and perform. My pick at the moment is probably Keaton Slovis. But I'm interested to see that battle out. I know Jason Bean's really athletic. And then Sam Ellinger, he is who he is. Obviously, in our tragic year where he was a starter for a little bit, he did what he could do, but I think he's severely limited. So I'd look for one of these new guys to step up and take that role from him as QB3.
For sure. That was my bad, Josh. Appreciate you throwing it in there. So y'all go check them out anytime y'all want. They are on Facebook, Twitter, and I believe they're also on Instagram. Not 100% certain on Instagram. But what about you, Zach? Where are you at on the QB room and battles you are interested?
Honestly, I think QB 1, 2, and 3 are pretty much already done and dealt with. I really think it's going to be AR, Flacco, and Ellinger because Ballard said he's not getting rid of a guy on a rookie deal. It's just not happening. So I don't look for Ellinger to get cut. I really think the Colts roll with 3 QBs going into the year. But for me, it's between Slovis and Bean. And I really like Bean. Like, I really, really, really do. I think he's in the perfect situation. There's no pressure on him. So as long as he just comes out and proves that he can ball, I really think he's a guy that the Colts can afford to stash, get greedy, stash them both on the practice squad, but stash Bean, and then you have a play caller like Steichen. That could be electric. If push comes to shove in a couple years, Bean could be the backup and really, 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 if developed, if he shows that he can grasp an NFL offense or whatever the scheme that Steichen and Crew's trying to run. If he can do that, then I'm all for that. I really like Bean, and that's the guy who I'm pulling for and would like to see. As for Keaton Slovis, I mean, the dude can pick up a system. He played in like 5 colleges in 6 years.
Played everywhere.
So, dude went everywhere. So, as long as Slovis just gets the ball out on time, I feel like he's going to get an NFL job, whether it's here in Indy or whether it's somewhere else. Like, he's the least of my concern. I'm kind of going into preseason with scheme fit. Like, what fits, scheme-wise? What is better? How we doing this? Because I feel like right now the Colts are making the best out of a situation with if AR goes hurt, we got old man Flacco. Well, old man Flacco can't do the RPO stuff, the mobile RPO stuff that AR can. It's kind of like what we did last year with Minshew.
Exactly.
Got you.
So I look at it like who's the better scheme fit? And me personally, I think going forward and for the future, Bean's the better overall fit because he offers that mobility when stuff isn't there or when it breaks down, just get out and go.
And I think that's why this is so important to me too. Like we're talking about QB 4 and 5. In no world is that ever a super important battle. However, think about what you said. Obviously, the scheme fit. Both of these guys could potentially be that better than Joe Flacco. And you think too, Joe's retiring at some point. The man's 39. And I correct me if I'm wrong. He's on a 1-year deal with us. So even if he goes and plays somewhere, I don't expect him to
2 year, $8 million, right?
Is that 2-year deal with him?
I thought it was 2 year, $8 million, $4 million up front, $4 million guaranteed. I'm not quite sure. I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, though, right? Like he's not going to be a long-term QB2 like Jacoby Brissett or anything like that. So very quickly, QB4 and QB5 can become QB2, QB3. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
Jags are attempting a 62-yarder right now.
Nice. Hopefully they miss.
Oh,
he missed like me in college football.
He did miss it, but he had plenty of.
Bro, that kick meter's crack cocaine. Why they do it like that? Like, I found out you can change it though in the settings. Yeah. You can go back to the double tap. I went back to the double tap because I got tired of missing like 42-yard field goals. I was like, no way.
Dude. Yeah, I'm terrible at it.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump to the running backs. Obviously, we know JT is the guy. Trey Sermon, as far as I've seen from the camp updates, Trey Sermon is the number 2, just like we would have all expected. And as far as I've seen and heard, Tyler Goodson has been our number 3 and mostly our receiving backs on third downs. I'm pretty sure the staff is pretty still high on Evan Hull, but haven't really heard too much out of him besides a little bit with the 3s. We got Trent Penix and Xavier Scott. Anything on any of those guys you guys are looking forward to?
Yeah.
I also real quick, I also heard that JT might play in the preseason, which I don't want at all. I don't even want him touching nothing with nobody in the preseason.
And unless he feels like he needs it to get warmed up, then do it the last week of preseason.
I don't care.
I don't want that.
I don't even care if he felt like he needed just joint practices. I don't want. We can bubble wrap JT.
Yeah.
Don't nobody.
Less carries until it matters, dude.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Zach. I know you had some.
Kind of concerned with Evan Hall because, he's a third-round pick, man. That's high draft capital. So, it's kind of crazy that, I'm pretty sure he's a third-round pick, DeMarco. I'm not 100%. Don't quote me. I have a bad mind. I don't have enough amino acids.
No, it's good. My memory is crap. That's why I'm just trying to remember as well myself.
It all gets mixed up, dude.
But I'm pretty sure he's a high draft capital. So it's kind of weird that he's
fifth round pick.
Oh, well, it's kind of weird that he's so far down on the depth chart, especially after last year when he was RB2. So
for the like couple
But
games that he was healthy.
I think for him being RB2 though was mostly because JT just wasn't there.
There was that, yeah.
So
and then,
you had JT, you had Zach Moss,
True.
and then it was Evan Hull. So that just slid him up a little bit, and then he also got hurt. So I'm not exactly sure as far as like how his recovery's been and everything. I think he's been fully cleared. Just this what I'm going off of right now is just from the writers, but clearly preseason is where we will get to see the full workload from all of these backs. I mean, Trey Sermon may get about 5 to 10 carries and be done. And then the rest of the way, it's going to be all of these other guys to see what they can really do. I'm really not all too concerned about any running back touches because from everything I've seen and heard is that a lot of people are projecting JT to have a monster season.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know how much we'll see really of anybody else. And then you already got the RPO game where Anthony Richardson's going to take some touches. And so,
dude, I genuinely
would. Oh,
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say the last thing there. I was just going to say it's pretty much between Tyler Goodson and Evan Hull between who's going to be RB3 and 4 personally where I'm at. And then I do think Xavier Scott got a chance to kind of slip in there because I haven't really heard or seen too much of Trent Penix.
I wouldn't be surprised if we keep either Xavier or Trent as practice squad guys. I am a little interested. I'm just looking through their numbers on the roster. Trent Penix, dude, 6'2", 234. I wouldn't mind keeping him as a power back option if you need it, you know?
Well, he's that H-back that they got from NC State. Like, he played tight end. He played fullback.
He's a big dude. So that versatility, maybe you want to keep him around just to fill in the hole if somebody gets hurt, you know.
Not if JP's not in on 3rd and 4th down.
No, of course not. Of course not talking about beyond it, but I'm saying, you know, somebody goes down, you need a spot like that kind of versatility and that kind of size. At least makes it a question. Xavier Scott, I really don't know much about, but I don't expect him to leap over Evan Hull or Tyler Goodson. And then just as far as once we get to the regular season, I agree. I think JT's going to get majority snaps. I think he by himself gets over 75%, maybe 80% of the snaps. Then you split the last 15 between, you know, Evan Hull and Trey Sermon, and then you bring Tyler Goodson in as a receiving
going for
back.
That single season like rushing record. He's going that 2008, bro. Like
Taylor's got to be so important to this offense. So, you know, God willing, he stays fully healthy, but he's going to get
Steichen himself. He does not say a whole lot about JT besides we love him. And
he's the man.
He's in for a big year. He just kind of gushes over what kind of year JT is going to have. So love that there. Just a question for you both. We all agree we're keeping 4 backs?
I think so.
Probably. But it depends on who the 4th one is. Yeah.
Tyler Goodson for me.
I just feel like regardless of who it is, I think we keep 4 just on
absolutely, yeah. Especially these days. I mean, the league as a whole is pretty big on like rotating backs, even when you have a guy that takes the majority snaps, like just for health and for limiting, you know, useless or like unimportant carries, you know, late in games and stuff. If you're leading, you want to put those guys in. So yeah, absolutely. I think we take 4. And then I do think either Xavier or Trent or both stay on the practice squad. So I think every single one of these guys is in the city of Indianapolis this year. Just what role they're playing is dependent.
Got you. And then let's go ahead and jump into these receivers, which is going to be a really big battle. So I'm going to kind of spread this out a little bit. I'm not going to go into all of the depth just because we kind of know where it goes. But I will get into slot, and then I want to get into the part that kind of irritates me with the depth part, just so we can talk to it because I feel like one of you guys might have an answer that make a bit more sense to me, but it just irritates the hell out of me. So we got Michael Pittman Jr. obviously is going to be our Z receiver, our number 1. Then we have Josh Downs as our slot. And then it goes into a little bit of depth there. We got Anthony Gold is the number 2 in the slot, who will now be the starter. And then Ethan Fournier will be the number 3 in the slot once Josh Downs comes back. Then we go into the part where I was telling you guys it kind of irritates me. This is our X receiver, and it has Alec Pierce or A.D. Mitchell. And then we got some depth back there: Juwan Winfrey, Tyree Cleveland, and Derek Saab. I'm not even gonna try that one.
Sluka, maybe?
I don't know. I'm not even gonna try that one.
Not
sure.
But
so that's where we're at. Obviously, it's Pitt, Downs, and then we got Alec Pierce or AD Mitchell. So the part that irritated me is we're almost to our first preseason game, and I get maybe if it's Steichen doing it for some competitive purposes and whatnot. I hate the or shit. I really do. It makes it feel like such college baby competition type stuff. Just like if you're gonna keep splitting reps, that's fine. But have a guy there and say this is the guy, and let them know that they're competing or whatever. And then you can figure out from there. But I just hated the or shit being in there because it just doesn't make any sense for me. Like, let me know who my guy is, who my guy is going to be lining up out there.
Are you talking specifically Alec and AD?
Yeah. I just hate the or shit. I just feel like it's such elementary to me.
But
that's where our depth are. Anything you guys are looking forward to, and then just the or how you guys feel about that part of it.
I mean, I agree with how you feel. I think there should be a number one. I don't think it's necessarily a clear number one. I think that's probably a tighter competition than a lot of people give credit for, because I think a lot of people have written Alec Pierce off. And I think he would have had a monster year if AR was healthy last year. So I'm not writing Alec off, but I do agree they should have an idea of who's the number one, and let it be a competition. It's a close one, close two, whatever it may be. But I agree, name a guy so then the other guy knows what he has to do to take a spot, or vice versa, right? But all in all, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I think that personally, I look at it like, when you draft a dude like AD, that spot is his, like until he loses it, because Pierce has had on the field opportunities and hasn't really made the most of the opportunities. And I understand, like, you can't really hold that against him in a way because Minshew didn't throw him the rock when he was open. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, you don't draft a guy in the second round and then say, oh, hey, you're competing for wide receiver 3 spot. Like, hell no, dog. Like, he's your Z receiver. He's your X receiver. He's that dude out there. And you look at Pierce and say, hey, you're a pro. You get paid to perform. It's your job. And so what have you done for me now, league? And Pierce has been okay in the opportunities, but hasn't made the most of it. I will kind of go on a hot take and kind of take this down the road, but I think that, that AD Mitchell and Josh Downs are in a competition for a bigger competition for who is, wide receiver 2 versus who is outside, inside, than anything like that. I really think it's Pittman and then everybody else, and everybody else between Pittman is minute. So it wouldn't shock me to see AD Mitchell, essentially wide receiver 2 3 weeks into the season when he balls out and is super consistent. Like,
well, that's kind of my spot on it too. I don't mind them. I kind of go the other way of you, Zach. I don't mind them saying right now that's Pierce's job, because it's on AD. The prerogative is on him to take that job. I understand you draft him early, you draft him high, and he's templated to be that guy, and I absolutely think he will be that guy. But you talk about what have you done for me lately? Rookies haven't played yet. You know what I mean? So, like, it is on him to go and take that job. That's why I don't really mind them templating Alec Pierce as the number 2 guy until he's not. And I don't think he will be very long. I think AD's going to run away with that job. Right. But it makes sense to me, like, hey, Rook, go and earn it. I know you're a second-round pick. Cool. See, go get it.
That's exactly why I get Zach's point, and then I also disagree with some of it just because of the fact that, like, when you say give it to AD Mitchell, I didn't want it to be handed it to him. So, like, if you would have said Pierce in that place, then I would totally get it. It's like when you get drafted, obviously you come in, you don't hand it to him. You basically say, like, because this is even Reggie Wayne said it. He said that I love this for Alec because this is the first time he's had to compete for his role.
Yeah.
So now, like, when you open up OTAs, right, and they come in and you're like, hey, Alex, this is your job to lose. Boom. You start the competition from the get-go. Now, by the time we get to this first point and you have your first depth chart come out, just say him or him.
Yeah, I agree.
And you let them know where the baton has been taken. That's what I don't like. Like, just like if you would have said, okay, Pearson still got the upper hand because of whatever. I mean, you ain't even got to tell me or tell them or whatever, but at least you give a guy the point to where he knows. Just as Dave Stewart is saying here, Pierce was a 2 also.
Pierce was a 2 also. I just look at it like, AD played against tougher competition in college. than Pierce did, and
I don't know.
we've already seen AD's game translate because I'm sorry, Alec Pierce, you don't make that catch that AD made in practice. Like
Oh
he just
yeah,
doesn't. He just
but
doesn't. So I'm going supreme athlete over dude with 2 years experience. Like
well,
again,
thing too though,
for
like
me, it's about fit, and AD
yeah,
fits way better than Pierce does.
Well, see,
Just
I
in my
get what you're
opinion.
saying, Zach, but I'm just saying that like we can't take it based on that because we haven't seen him play in a game and with this team. I just wish that they wouldn't have put the label or just because it just to me it just sounds like you're being indecisive. And for me as a Colts fan and where we've been with our receiving core for a while now, I want you to be decisive and let me know
yeah.
that you're figuring out who our guy is going to be. I don't want to get all the way like obviously if this changes 2 weeks from now, this is all water under the bridge and it doesn't matter. But like you guys have had a long time to see who is most likely going to be your number two. And it's just for the first preseason game.
My question for
Just
you,
having a
DeMarco,
bit more
do
distinction.
you think it's just gamesmanship? You
It
think
could
teams
be.
are looking? Do you think teams are looking at roster at depth charts, and the reason why they're not saying, "Yo, hey, this is our guy," they don't want to give anybody the go ahead unless it's absolutely
What's up, Damon?
obvious.
Yeah,
And
yeah, our
then
guy Damon made
you're
it. See,
you're
so
kind of
Zach,
like
that's exactly why I started with because I was saying like I don't know if this is Steichen maybe trying to hide the
right,
roster a little bit, but then we would have to wait another 3 weeks to see who the guy may be. And obviously, if Steichen is doing this, like I said, I trust the man. I think
right,
Steichen
right,
has got it down. You know, obviously he made some rookie mistakes, but I think this guy we finally got a real coach once again.
yeah,
So if it's him making that decision, then I totally understand it. It's just as a fan, like we all of us already know with Ballard and what he's going to do with we like our guys, and we clearly know the guy is not he's not shit. So it's like I want you to just let us know, man. Like if this goes on till week 1, I'm really not gonna like it, and then I'm gonna feel like we missed on AD and AP. Like I feel
I
like
just think what's
stuff.
interesting with this, right? And we look at it as a competition of who's going to be the X, who's going to be the number two, and it is a competition. But I also think there's like a partnership there. I think both of them can play that position, obviously. And to your credit, like what you were saying, they play it in very different ways. So I think it's
right.
entirely feasible that or means this against this matchup and against this type of defense, AD might be the majority snaps against a different team, Alec might be. And if they're that even and they play the position in different ways, I have no problem with that. Whoever's going to be most effective in that position, give them the snaps.
Yeah, but then I feel like to me, and this is just me. I'm real big on. I see Dave. I understand. I see this. We don't know how Pierce fits. Who has thrown to? You're right. I can't argue that because you're 100% right. But I look at it like, I got a rookie who's essentially a ball of clay, and I got a
Sure.
2-year guy who
Hasn't
one
shown me
coaching
much
right, who hasn't shown me much. Who am I willing
to
to
bet on.
really who am I really willing to pour time into? For me, it's the dude who ain't done shit in the league because I can show him how I want routes ran. I can essentially mold his game to perfectly fit my offense, and he doesn't have bad habits. And what habits he has developed, you can coach out. Where Pierce has been here, and you're all like, all right,
It's
you're
still
here.
still kind of a question mark. Yeah.
You catch the ball, but like, what else do you do? Like,
We're gonna leave this one here because we're gonna get into a deep one with this one. I want to kind of let Damon hop in here as well. I know that was a pretty good conversation there. It was just something that irritated me. Obviously, it's a real good conversation. We could probably come back to it and see how it goes. But Nathan here is saying, so this will probably be the only game that we see AR play in tomorrow. Yeah, me and Zach talked about this last week just because of we have 2 joint practices when pretty much teams will typically get everything they need out of competition. So then you really don't see much of the starters after that. So I would guess that would be that so far. And then Damon, I'll let you jump in on this one first. I'll read the depth out as well. Nathan is saying here, boys, how many tight ends do you keep? And then before you go, Damon, so our tight end depth right now looks like we got 2 tight end starting spots. So there's be 2 tight end sets. So we got Kylan Granson and Mo Ali Cox as our starters. Their backups would be Jelani Woods and Drew Ogletree. And then we also have Will Mallory, Eric Tomlinson, and Jordan Murray. So how many tight ends you think we keeping?
I think we keep 4, but I think Mo Ali Cox needs to get cut. You need to bring Will Mallory in there. I'm not off the Ogletree train. I'm not, because Ogletree's shown us more, which hasn't been much, than a lot of those tight ends. Colin Granson, I think, being the best one out of the group for us right now. But
agreed.
I'm keeping Ogletree, man. And, poor guy just gets blown up every big play. That's kind of what's happened every time, But
it's kind of rough to watch sometimes.
Dude, and it's that same route. He runs that seam route.
Every time he get up, he either or he's
slow.
Same route every time.
It's tough to watch, man.
Dude, it's. I mean, we've had countless discussions about the tight end position, but it's so frustrating because we have, I think,
Jelani fucking Woods who ain't taking the job yet.
We have 5 guys on the team that could probably contribute in a big way. But like 3 of them are question marks, and one of them is Mo Ali Cox is just there because he has like a good rapport with the coaching staff at this point, and he can block.
I wouldn't even say a good rapport. Steichen loves Mo Ali Cox, and I hate it so much.
He's just one of those guys who's there, man.
From what Steichen has said, is he's long, he has great straight line speed, and he's healthy. When it talks about Woods. That's all he said about Jelani all year, and he's one of the few dudes.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys have followed the updates, but Jelani Woods has had some bad case of the drops lately.
Nice,
dude. It's one thing after the other with the dude, and I want to be optimistic about him because he looks so good for about 5 minutes.
Obviously, I'm not there at the practices and seeing how well, like maybe he's overcompensating from not being around for a while, maybe trying to do everything perfect, but he's had quite a few drops. So
no excuses about the ball being. I mean, yeah.
Then just looking at these other guys, Eric Tomlinson, he's 32, he's 6'6", he's 265. If he's not a long snapper, he doesn't have a place on the team.
That's a blocking tight end, bro.
Yeah.
But again,
go ahead, Zach.
Like, if this coaching staff, for whatever reason, loves Mo, we already know Mo's going to get one of the 4 spots because he blocks well.
He will.
And Steichen, he's one of Steichen's boys. I don't know.
So we're all agreeing on 4.
Yeah. I think we end up with 5. I think we should have 4, but I think we take 5 because
are you shortchanging a receiver?
You know what? I do think we could end up with 5 just because of the fact that we did lose Ebukam, who still hasn't been put on IR. He still hasn't been put on IR, so I think there's still some faith that he might make it back. So we'll see.
Yeah. The reason I say 5 though, and I think it should be 4, but the reason I say 5 is Ogletree and Woods are both in the same position to me where you have to keep them because of what they could be, but neither one of them have done a fucking thing. You keep Will Mallory, in my opinion, because he showed flashes as a rookie, and I think he could be a really solid tight end.
But
I think Kylan Granson's the clear number 1, and Mo's not going anywhere.
I'm taking Ogletree over Woods because Woods can't stay healthy. And
I said that a year ago.
Gets concussed. Right. Well, we did. We didn't know what we had.
But, I think they're the same guy, man. I think they're the same guy.
See, I think that the difference is Woods just deals with bigger injuries than Ogletree. Just like David said, it's either a first down catch or a concussion. So I feel like he's dealing with the exact same thing. So I really can't tell you if it's.
I don't know about that. I can't agree with you on there, bro. Because Jelani did absolutely nothing last year, and we got no updates. He was.
But I feel like Jelani Woods' rookie season has been bigger than anything.
Yeah, but that was like 2-3 years ago. That was 2 years
ago. I mean, that's like.
And we're still.
That's with Frank, though.
I hear you guys. I'm just playing devil advocate. Me personally,
Frank went out his way to get tight ends involved, dog. Like Shane don't give a shit. Shane's like, hey, you open, my QB's finding you.
That's what it should be, dude. Get open. Get open.
Frank was literally like, oh, we got a tight end. We got Mo Ali Cox, who only catches 2 catches a year. And they're both for touchdowns, but somehow,
dump routes
like
too.
The dude still makes plays and is on this team as like a glorified fullback. But like,
I think fans just don't understand how important blocking is.
You can have an offensive lineman do it.
He is important to the run game. I mean, he's going to help JT break the single season rushing record this year, God willing. So you
All
keep
right,
him
so
on the roster. But
let's break this down real quick so we can move on to the next position because obviously this one is a little ugly. But Zach, who's your 4?
Mallory, because he's my dog. He's your tight end number 2. Granson, he's your tight end number 1. Ogletree's my tight end number 3. Woods is my tight end number 4.
All right, Damon, who you got? Who's your 4?
You already asked me.
Oh, I did ask you. Huh?
Yeah.
And you said Mallory, Granson, Ogletree, and Woods, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Trev, who you got?
I'll go a little bit different. If it has to be 4, and again, I think it'll still be 5. But going 4, I'm taking Kylan Granson as my clear-cut number 1. He's the man. Mo Alley-Cox is going to be on the team, whether we want him there or not. He's going to be on the team, so he's one of the 4. I think you keep Will Mallory, and then you make a decision, dude, because like I said, Ogletree and Woods are the same guy. So you pick one, and you roll with him as your question mark. Who is he ever going to be? And then you let the other one go to the practice squad or go somewhere else at this point. But flip a coin and pick one for the 4th.
Yeah. I'm not far off from you guys. I see it the same way you guys do. As much as it sucks, Smalley Cox is going to be around. Kylan Granson, obviously, he's been the most valuable and durable out of all of them, in my opinion. I would prefer Jelani Woods just because I still like his potential, but I think I got to go with the guy who stays healthy a little bit more. At least you can see him around throughout the full season with Drew Ogletree, and we're not going to cut a guy on the rookie contract who's just barely getting started, so it'd be Will Mallory. So
Mallory's got a lot of potential too.
So Jelani Woods, Eric Tomlinson, and Jordan Murray would probably get cut. But I think Trev might be right. We might end up keeping 5 with just how deep we are there.
And I don't know where that spot comes from, but I just can't see us getting rid of all those guys.
Absolutely. So Nathan here is coming here with a question here. Anybody want to jump in on this one? So my question is, will AR do what he needs to do to stay out of the blue tent?
Well, it depends what you're asking. If you're asking if he's going to be like 2018 Andrew Luck and start making like the smart football plays and getting out of bounds and getting down, I don't think so. I don't think he's going to change the way he plays. I think he's too young, too athletic, and everything he said is he's still going to play his game. Which is both a positive and a negative, right? So in that sense, no, but in the sense that I think he's kind of maybe learned how to take a fall, learned how to bounce back really quick. Athletically, I think he's more prepared to stay out of the blue tent, as you put it. So, yeah.
In the words of Shane Steichen, are you going to tell Steph Curry to stop shooting threes?
Yeah. There you go.
Dude, I want AR to be AR. Like, obviously, I don't want AR to take the stupid hits, but at the same time, like, he's a big boy, 6'5", 250.
Big boy.
He can handle it. So there might be 1 or 2 hits that I don't want him to take, but if he can take them and he pops back up and, we get the yards we need, I'm all for it. So
yeah. It's football, dude.
The way I see it is it's a contact sport, and if he didn't want to play, he'd go ball out on the basketball field or ball out on the basketball court. So just fine.
Anything, Damon? Yeah,
Nathan chimes in, and says, I just want to see him slide more. It's so situational, in my opinion. I mean, you don't want to see him slide, you know what I mean, when we're trying to go after a first down or pick up extra yards. Like, you never see Josh Allen do that. You know what I mean? Or even Patrick Mahomes, for that matter. You know what I mean? They fight for the extra yard.
I would love to tell you.
Go ahead.
I would love to tell you in a perfect world, Nathan, we will never need to see AR run the ball because JT and that offensive line are getting like in a perfect world. That's what I would.
Hell no, I wouldn't even want to tell you that because I want to see him run the ball. Fuck out of here with all that.
But that's the thing. I want to see AR get loose on the edge and do his best Cam Newton, Lamar Jackson impersonation, break ankles, and then do, like the gritty in the end zone. Like, that's what I need to see.
Let him go crazy.
He too big to be doing the gritty. I don't want to do that. Do your 360 flip spike, whatever they
We need more of those, dude.
That QB power. That's what I want to see.
Backflip or something. But
Empty set, QB power.
I don't really have too much on it, Nathan, man, because all we really got to do is pray, man. I'm just telling you right now, when you're that big, you're at that athletic, 250 pounds. There's going to come a time early in the week in the season, like it could be week 1 versus Houston. If it's Anthony Richardson, run and put your head down for a first down, and we end this game, drive a shoulder through somebody. I expect him that he's still going to go do that. It's football at the end of the day. We just got to hope that he can stay healthy, just like any other team in the NFL has to hope their guys stay healthy. Obviously, you don't want him doing it a lot, but at the end of the day, he's still got to play football. I think he'll be just fine.
Agreed.
All right, man. So let's go ahead and jump into the meat and potatoes, as Zach loves to call them.
Where the money is made.
Where's that, bro?
So
That's where team is built and made right here.
We got the starters up here. We got Braden Smith as right tackle, Will Fries as right guard, Ryan Kelly, Quentin Nelson as the center and left guard, respectively. And we got our stonewall there, Bernard Ryman at left tackle.
Yeah.
Backups, right tackle, Matt Goncalves. We got right guard, again, with the stupid or stuff. We got Josh Hills and Dalton Tucker. Don't really think it's much competition there. I preferably would like to see something different. I want to get your opinion on that, Zach. Center is being Danny Pinter or Tanner Bortolini. We just lost Wesley French to IR, so there's no more need for or there. Left guard as Danny Pinter or Tanner Bortolini, and also Wesley French. That's a weird one. And then we got Blake Freeland and Jake Witt at left tackle as the depth there. So real quick, obviously, I see no competition in the starting 5. That's just where I'm at with that personally. But I did think I brought this up to Zach last week, just because you guys, Trev and Damon, you guys were here. I thought there'd be a little bit more competition for right guard Will Fries. Obviously, I'm not going to keep disrespecting the guy. He proved me wrong last year. He can play. He's a right guard in this league. But I just thought Matt Goncalves or Tanner Bortolini would have gave him a little bit more competition. But that's just where I'm at with that. And then I also think I do not like our left tackle depth there. Blake Freeland, I heard he put on some weight. Couldn't see for myself. But it looks like he should be more ready to for the competition, because obviously he was our right tackle last year,
Right?
And he got thrown to the fire.
Hey, we don't play the Browns this year, right?
Yeah, exactly.
On that, I thought he played well.
And then we got our guy Jake Witt. Latu has been abusing those two guys, Blake Freeland. And
Yeah, but that's Latu.
And so the only thing that I really had some questions for is I would have had Matt Goncalves being either our backup right guard or backup right tackle, and then I would have had Tanner Bortolini as our backup left guard, and then I would have had Pinter as center. I don't want Pinter anywhere near the guards anymore. I thought that was terrible the last time we seen him there. But Zach, since you're our official lineman there, what did you think about my opinion on that? And then any backups or competition things you saw there?
I disagree with the Pinter take. I don't like him playing center. Too small. Just my opinion. I think you drafted Tanner Bortolini to be the center going forward, because dude was a hell of a center at Wisconsin when he played. I mean, granted, he only played center for 1 year.
So real quick, before you keep going real quick. So by the end of the season, are you extending Ryan Kelly? Or are you letting him walk and letting Tanner take over?
I'm letting him walk. Bortolini, in my opinion, is the center of the future. And I know that's going to suck, but the Colts have so much money wrapped up in the offensive line that going forward, you're going to have to plug and play guys you draft. Same thing with Goncalves, I think that's his last name. Yeah, like that to me are Ryan Kelly and Braden Smith's replacement. Both those guys are imperative for development purposes. Both those guys are imperative for paychecks going forward, so other guys get paid. To me, there's really only 2 people on this offensive line that get second and third contracts: Quentin Nelson and Bernard Ryman, and then everyone else is on a rookie deal, and they'll get a second contract if they earn it. But those 2 guys, being Bortolini and Goncalves, are the main depth pieces. And then unlike Damon, I'm very high on Freeland Bro, Freeland balled out when he had to go up against arguably the 3 best pass rushers back to back to back to
As
back.
a rookie.
I'm off
As
that.
a
bro.
rookie,
I'm off
dog.
that. I'm off that. I'm just gonna say that. Don't lie. We literally were. It was literally
mean,
Miles
it was a
Garrett
swinging
versus the
gate,
Indianapolis
bro.
Colts.
Oh,
Yeah, no. So
What?
yeah, so
Miles
I didn't
Garrett
mean to.
versus
I
the
didn't mean
Indianapolis
to.
Colts.
Yeah, I didn't mean to completely crap on the guy.
Like,
He had
was
some
thrown to
rough
the wolves,
competition to
dude.
go against. Yeah,
like
I'm
he
just
went
saying,
up against
I'm just saying his competition that he went to against on right tackle to then go to left tackle to be the blindside guy
sure.
for everything that we
Yeah.
just talked about with the health of Anthony Richardson. I don't really think that's the switch
Risky.
I want him to make immediately.
right.
Please give him
Right.
some time to.
Right.
That's where I was
I
at.
do-
But clearly with Bernard Ryman there, Bernard Ryman, knock on wood, I got some wood right here. That he
I
never
do-
needs to take any snaps off. But yeah,
I do think that Freeland, again, is a solid depth piece. And as for whoever the hell's actually a right guard, those 2 names you named, and then Jake Witt, the way I see it is all 3 of them dudes going to get cut. They ain't NFL material.
Oh,
They're
I
not
think
practice
so.
squad material. Go find me some vets, dog. Like, give me the old vet who's still trying to keep getting them checks
Eric
right
Fisher.
before he right before he retires, dog.
No, hell
And he
no.
can- and
Jake
he can
Witt
play
over Eric Fisher.
and
I
he
would-
can play he can play like a guard spot because you can hide a guard. He ain't got to play tackle. You can hide a guard. You can go find an old ass guard who
I
can still
disagree
run
with you
block a
on
little
that.
bit
That'll
and be
pen.
just fine. Be just fine. I don't. To me, I don't like super
I
young,
would-
non-talented rookies.
Richie Incognito
I
coming in.
would rather the dude take pennies and play like Blake Freeland rather than to take millions and play like Eric
I want
Fisher.
Zach out there.
Dude,
Bro,
absolutely not.
I do it. I get annihilated, but I'd be a dog. I'd be like, man, hey, you can pay me league minimum, bro. I'll strap up.
Miles
Easy.
Garrett, week 1.
Practice squad money. Give it to me. I ain't scared. I'll get eaten alive. I ain't scared though. Like,
All right, Damon,
I'm a little
what you got? Any competition on the offensive line or anything in the starting 5? You discrepancy there?
No, I don't. I think it will be interesting though to see how Braden responds this year. Overall, I feel like these last 2 seasons we have not seen the best of him, and that whole right side of the offensive line has kind of been makeshift. So, whereas the left, side of the offensive line has kind of had to hold us down. So, I'm excited to see Bernard kind of come in and continue to improve himself and become one of the best left tackles in the league. But that right side just needs to be solidified. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of that has to do with health.
For sure, yeah. The last 2 years did look like it's been taking a toll on Braden a little bit. So hopefully he can bounce back and have a strong year. What about you, Trev?
Yeah, I agreed with Zach almost entirely until the end there. I don't see a lot of cuts here, but I can get into that in a second. I agreed mostly with what you were saying about Ryan Kelly. I think he deserves to be a highly paid center in this league beyond this contract. I just don't think that money comes from us. I think Tanner Bortolini does take his job. I think what's interesting, though, is as far as the backups go, you have guys like Bortolini, Pinter. I want to say Sills has played center before. I'm not positive about that.
He
but
has
I know
played.
Goncalves can also play tackle or guard. Like, you have all these guys that they can play multiple positions. So to kind of answer Nathan's comment about what max offensive lineman you keep 10, I think you can keep about 10, maybe 11 guys and be fine. Like a starter and then a backup in each position, just because we have guys that are versatile enough to pick or to play different positions. But I do think Bortolini long-term is going to be a starter for us down the road. And I think Goncalves can also be a starter down the road. I think eventually he takes that right tackle spot. And then Blake Freeland is very serviceable as a backup. I thought he played well when he was thrown in the fire. I don't know if he's ever going to step up and be like a starter in that position, but I think that's a competition there for whenever we do move on from Braden Smith. Only thing I disagree with, Zach, I don't think you cut a guy like Jake Witt just because I know he's getting his ass kicked by lots.
I know he's a friend of the show. Like, we've had him on. He's a guest.
I never even spoke to the guy. I wasn't on that show. I have no bias to Jake Witt.
But
hear me out.
Bad feet, dog. Bad feet.
Hear me out, though. You need athletic guys that are not getting paid a fucking thing. You need athletic guys to run this RPO system. So Eric Fisher, get out of the building, dude. Like, we don't need anyone like that. They can't
what a guy.
The system we run What
a swinging door.
Yeah, no, we don't need anyone stiff and broken like that, dude. I'd rather bring in 10 freaking undrafted free agents that can
I can't
run
do that.
a 5-second 40, then I
Give
want
me-
Eric Fisher.
Offensive
Experience
lineman,
matters, homie.
offensive
Give
linemen
me-
do not work out like the Miami Heat, dog.
Give me 10 traffic cones that move with a robot on a robot under.
Literally.
Wait, now,
don't
time
bring
out.
in old broken
Eric
backs.
Fisher wasn't that bad. That's
Yes,
Matt
he
Pryor.
was.
Matt Pryor was like
Prior.
the worst dog.
Both
He's
of
the
them.
human traffic cone.
Both
I
of
got-
them.
First of all,
I-
LaRaven Clark was the
No,
worst.
I said I would prefer a traffic code over both of them.
Damn, dog.
The
I
Raven
can't
Clark. Wow.
LaRaven
can't
Clark
do
haunts my
Eric
fucking
Fisher like
nightmares,
that.
dude. He
Go
was
out and
good
see-
in his time. He was not good in Indianapolis.
Hey, go out and see if Gosner Trillilius is still available.
Gosh,
from, like,
shirtless.
yeah, see if
Isn't
he's
that the
still
guy that
available.
got cut because he didn't his mom passed away and he missed a practice and they said you're gone?
That's
That
terrible.
was
That's
the
so
right
terrible.
tackle. And when Luck got drafted, they immediately went and signed the dude off the street. And the next week he was starting.
Just
That's what- but
to
that what happened,
clarify,
right?
though.
Zach, that's
We
what's happened,
put
right?
Andrew Luck through hell.
He missed
Yeah.
that practice, right? And they cut him.
Yeah, and they cut him. Yeah,
His mom passed away. Horrible.
That's
Yeah,
because he
they
didn't
do,
tell anybody though.
he didn't tell nobody though, so they cut him immediately because he went
Worst week
MIA.
of that guy's life.
He
Good
didn't tell
Lord.
anybody.
He didn't tell
I didn't know
Colts. He
that.
told nobody.
I
yeah,
never knew that.
Yeah, no.
Why are we just
I mean,
not talking about that? I never knew that he never.
Well,
told
that's
nobody.
because I don't like defending Ryan Grigson. So
I refuse, dude.
Oh.
Just to bring it back center, it's not specifically Jake Witt. I'm going to bat for it. Just the idea, right? Because you said like bring in vets and stuff. I'd rather bring in young guys that are capable of running the system we run and want to run and be quick on their feet. I understand Jake Witt's got bad feet. Not
I would
good,
also-
I'm just saying
I would-
someone like that could be athletic.
I
would also
see it.
rather to keep developing. Just keep developing.
I
our
see
guys.
it.
We got a
but the-
good
the-
development system.
I see it. I don't disagree. But yeah, for me, like if I was building the Colts, give me a bunch of old vets that can still get it done a little bit. Still got some juice left, and I'm gonna squeeze out the juice out them knees.
I can see
as
me
much
and
as I
Zach fighting
possibly
in the,
can.
me and Zach fighting in the office saying this guy's pressure rate is fucking 30% now. Like, I don't want him.
I only care. I only care
He's
about
only
running the
36.
ball,
He's
dog.
got room to grow.
Hey man, I only care about running that rock. So if they can
That's why you
run,
need these athletes, dude.
side to side, I don't care about north south. We running the ball this year, north to south. We ain't throwing it. We're coming up in the wishbone, north to south.
Yeah, I was just about to say Zach's still running the wrong system. I think he forgot what system we were running.
He's been running that Air Force offense on college football. dude.
Absolutely,
That's what he's
dog. Absolutely.
Let's jump into this defensive line here so I can get to the second part for you guys that pissed me off. So obviously we know our starting defensive tackles, Grover Stewart and DeForest Buckner there holding up the defensive tackles. Our defensive ends they had listed as Kwity Paye and Tyquan Lewis. This shit really pissed me off because I see no reason starting. Like I said, it's unofficial. It's unofficial. So everybody, please give me a break for being pissed off. But I'm still fucking pissed off. They have Leatu Latu backing up Kwity Paye and Dio Adengo backing up Tyquan Lewis. This shit pissed me off because to me, I'm just tired of it, bro. Like, why are we drafting somebody with the 15th overall pick if they're not going to be named
Gus
the
Bradley.
starter? I don't care about that goes back to my thing about the Steichen thing, loving Mo Ali Cox. He also loves Gus Bradley. I'm so done with this bullshit. Why would we draft a 15th overall pick if he's not going to be the starter? Fucking trade back if the guy ain't going to be a fucking starter. This is bullshit to me.
I feel like that's gotta be
obviously,
gameism, dude. There's no way.
Yeah, that's what I'm
There's
saying.
no
That's what I'm
way.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Everybody give me a break. But it just irritates me again.
Yeah.
Like, why? There's no reason that he should even be listed as a number 2. This kid is as humble as he comes. All he wants to do is work and play football. There's nothing else. Dude don't even like nothing. He got his family and he got football. Like, that's it, bro. Like, there's nothing
Straight
else.
hooper,
Like,
dude.
I'm DeMarco.
I just no, because it just irritates me, bro. That we got to keep going through this. Like, we made no offseason additions outside of Raekwon Davis, who's actually might get to play, praying that Joe Flacco never touches the goddamn field. So it's like, why are we not, bro? Like, why are we still playing these games? Like, it should that shouldn't even be in a question.
That
So,
should be the one clear-cut
I'll-
rookie
I'll-
that we are starting.
I'll get you guys' opinion on it before, because I've been drinking a little bit, so I don't want to completely blow up. But I just, when I seen it, it just pissed me off to the point. Because, like, why are we doing this? Go ahead, Trey.
I do think this is one of those positions where it's a little bit less important, like who's listed as a starter, because what we have seen from Gus Bradley that I don't hate, by the way, is that he's big on rotating guys out at defensive end specifically and linebacker, obviously, but our defensive ends rotate in and out, in and out, in and out. Like we always have someone fresh on the field. So I think first of all, that leads to we're keeping several D ends. I could see 5 to 6 staying on the team. Obviously, Samson Ebukam being down, that kind of fucks us in that area. But I don't know. It bothers me a little bit less than it bothers you. I agree he should be listed as a starter. He's the 15th overall pick. He's the man. But I think he's still going to get tons of snaps, tons of play time, especially you want to look for who's coming on third down. I think he will be that guy, even if it's not right away, just because of how often we rotate. So it's not a huge end of the world deal for me.
It's not a big deal to me either. Receiver, I would feel a little bit different about. If we took a receiver 15th overall and we had people starting ahead of them that we didn't feel were fit for the position, I feel a lot different. But you rotate those guys a lot. Rarely do you see them play 4 downs. You know what I mean? So I would, if anything, is to his benefit. That's what I'm gonna say, in my opinion.
Yeah. Two things. One, I agree with Damon in the fact that it's to his benefit. It's preseason. I don't want him to, possibly risk injury or I don't want him going out there and getting unneeded tread on tires. That being said, he's literally preached it all off season since he's been interviewed. He's got to earn everything. He wants to earn everything. So I'm pretty sure this just goes along with that mindset of his earning everything. I think once week 1 comes, his position coach, Charlie Partridge or whatever the heck his name is going to be like, this guy's starting. Yeah, this guy's starting, But in a way, even with Ebukam going down, it's still a blessing that we're able to say, Deo and, Quiddy are my edges, and we're still solid up front. So, the way I see it is you just send that mindset, hey, you got to earn it. You got to work for it. I'm sure he will. I'm sure come week 1, dude's going to start. But again, no DNs play. I can't think unless you're like Bosa and or Garrett or TJ Watt. I don't know of a DN that plays every down anymore.
It's rare. It's rare.
Yeah. They're like running backs. They get 2 downs and then they sub themselves out.
You want somebody fresh and ready to go take somebody's head off. So, it makes sense.
I'm glad you guys are more level-headed about it than me because I just don't get the bullshit. I don't like. Even if you want to keep the guy fresh, whatever the case may be, we already lost Samson. Is the goal not to have your best 11 on the field? So again, just like I said with the receivers, the thing can change by a couple weeks from now. But it's like if he's not one of your best 11 and he has to come off the bench, we're doing something wrong here. So, and even in practice, from the clips and everything, you can see this is clearly your number 1 pass rusher.
Right.
As a rookie,
I think he knows that, though. And I think the Colts know that. So it's essentially again, it's probably some gamesmanship, like we said earlier with the whole receiver bullshit. I really think there's some gamesmanship in this. There's some, hey, Rook, you got to earn it. We're not gonna give you nothing.
Yeah, go out and
go out and put one game's worth of good tape out there, and I really think it all changes. But again, these next 2 games after Broncos game, I fully expect to see scrubs. I don't expect to see a single starter the rest of the preseason.
I don't really want to either.
At all. Neither do I. Show everybody.
Said I hope Latu decapitate somebody as soon as he.
That'd be dope. I don't know.
Oh, they have history too, being Washington, Oregon. That might be interesting.
Nathan here was saying keep 12 defensive line. So Zach, what you're about to jump into. So when he says keep 12, so we have Kwity Paye, Layatu Latu, Jannard Avery, Titus Leo, DeForest Buckner, Adatame Adabari, Jonah Lalu, our 7th round pick, Grover Stewart, Taylor Bryant, Eric Johnson, Raekwon Davis, Tyquan Lewis, Deo Adangbo, Isaiah Land, Levi Bell, and Samson Ebukam.
They'll keep 9, just like they will offensive linemen. They'll keep a backup for each one, and then a guy who can swing inside and outside just like you do with your offensive lineman. You keep a guy who can play center and guard, and then you keep 2 guys who can play center and guard, and then 2 tackles. Be the same way. It'll be everyone's got a backup, and then you got a guy who can swing inside and outside. Yeah.
Well, our guy who was supposed to swing was supposed to be Dale.
Well, he can do that. I still think he's that guy, but he now takes a more perimeter approach, unless they expect Isaiah Land to step up. Because to me, he's the only backup outside of, because I don't know anything about Jannard Avery. I've never seen him, or Titus Leto. I've never seen them put on a Colts uniform other than in preseason and actually
Jannard
play.
Avery played last year. I'm pretty sure he had a couple of snaps last year.
Yeah,
Really?
so he's a 7-year vet, but I mean, I don't know shit about him either. But clearly, he's doing something to stay in the league.
So that would mean the competition would be between Jannard Avery, Titus Leo, Jonah Lalu, Raekwon Davis whenever he shows up, and Eric Johnson.
The dude who I think should be really worried on that defensive lineman is Taven Bryan signed, and then the rookie from last year from Northwestern, Adewale. Yeah, at a time.
I think he steps up this year. I like a little bit we saw.
I heard he's been going crazy in camp.
He needs to, but the way I see it is they don't draft. They turn around and draft your position again, and then they go out and get another guy in free agency. That tells me you didn't live up to the billing.
Sure. I get where you're coming from.
It was also a healthy scratch, like 8 or 9 weeks last year, man.
Well, that's Gus Bradley. That's Gus Bradley. He don't trust nobody.
Well, Gus Bradley's still in charge, though. So
the way I see it,
but I don't care about him being in charge, man. This guy.
I'm not saying double A because I cannot pronounce his name. Adebawore, I think. Adebawore. I don't think he's gonna like shoot up the depth chart and be like a dominant, like kind of how Odengbo. I felt like Odengbo did last year. I don't think he's necessarily going to be that, but I think he could take a role like Taven Bryan had last year, where you bring him in, rotated snaps, and he does great. Like the very limited time we saw him last year, I thought he made a couple of plays. I thought he stuck out a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of steps up more this year.
The crazy part is everybody shitting on Tommy, but Eric Johnson is the guy we haven't seen.
I was about to say that too. Is Eric Johnson's the guy that is probably on the chopping block to me.
Yeah, he's the one that we've drafted other positions because he can't stop the run. So strictly
looking at age, you would assume Taven Bryan, but I really like what Taven Bryan brought to the table last year when Grover
as a pass rusher. Don't say run. Don't say
Obviously, it was a very different defensive line without Grover. That's what Grover brings to the table, right? He's just that good at it. But Taven Bryan made several weeks, several games where he would stick out, rushing the passer, getting in the backfield, like doing that. So I'd like that to still be an option on this defensive line. So I don't think he's on the chopping block as much.
For sure. Nathan's also coming here. He's getting us a little bit ahead of the game, but he's asking about how many linebackers do we keep. We obviously got EJ Speed, Zaire flanking as our Will and Mike linebacker.
5.
Looks like Segun Olube is listed as our starting Sam. But Jay Carlisle, he's been really turning head at camp. I really love the kid. Reminds me of Shaq all over again. Love to see what he's been doing. Former safety from Mizzou, moved over. And then we got Cameron Negron backing up Zaire, and Liam Anderson is the number 3. And then we got Grant Stewart as the second Sam, and Austin Ajike as our third Sam. So any competitions or anything there? And how many do you think Zach was saying there? 5. So once you start us off there, Zach.
Cole's keeping that rookie Chirillos he's Carlisle. He's starting. He's one of your starters. I'm keeping my boy Segun just because you can't have a vet, a solid vet. Obviously, Zaire, EJ, and then Strand, Greg.
Stewart?
I don't know. Stewart. There it is. Stewart.
He's
my 5th
you got to keep McGrone too, though.
And then why? Everyone else is depth. No one else makes an impact.
I was going to say, I find it tough to argue Zach on that one because he named the exact 5.
Those are the only 5.
You got Speed, Franklin, Carlisle, Segun, and Grant Stewart.
Those are the only 5 because they're all interchangeable.
Yes, those are the top 5. Clearly, the only reason I'm making a case for McGrone is because we've seen this pipeline of being a special teams player to moving on to getting defensive snaps, and McGrone has been not as effective as Stewart, because Stewart's kind of been that guy, right, in that role. But McGrone has been there just about as long. There's been times he stuck out. Like all I'm saying is McGrone is not just a camp bite. Like Liam Anderson, I don't know who the hell that is.
He's a practice squad player.
Yeah, sure. I would definitely try to keep him in the practice squad at least, is what I'm getting the argument at.
Damon, stop laughing. You're going to make me laugh.
Trevor Denbo.
He's a practice squad player.
All I'm saying is if there's a spot for him, I keep McGrone.
Trevor Denbo had an interception in practice the other day.
Trevor Denbo
is
still on the team.
You gotta keep it.
No,
he had an interception the other day.
Bro's like that 8-year practice squad player.
You never
he's
know,
like that,
dude.
He's like that 9-year red shirt, still in college.
Grant Stewart finally made it on the team last year, so I can't say much.
What about you, Damon?
No, I got the exact same 5.
I mean, clearly, yeah.
However, I will say every linebacker spot we have is for the taking. It really is. I mean,
they just paid Zaire a bunch of money. Ain't no way.
He's on a 2-year. He's only on a 2-year, and EJ has 1 year left on. He only signed a 1-year
It's
deal.
his job for 2 years, though.
He only has EJ's only on a 1-year deal, bro.
And he's the only one I would bring back.
That's how I feel about it too. That's exactly how I feel about it too. But that's what I'm saying. Is Zaire on a 2-year or 1 year?
He signed that extension.
3 year.
It's a 3-year deal.
Zaire's not going anywhere. He's the hard soul.
I think it's only a 2-year deal, bro. I'm pretty sure.
No, it's 3 years. He signed a contract extension. This was supposed to be a contract year for him.
It was like 3 years, $18 million. No, it's like 3 years, $36 million. Yeah.
It was 3 years? Okay. But still, I mean, 2 of those spots were up for grabs if you think about it. So EJ's my favorite player probably to watch on the defense right now as we speak. And I think he's due for a breakout year. Knock on wood.
I felt like last year was a kind of a breakout year for
him. It was.
Zaire and EJ for the last, what was it? I want to say the last 8 games of the season where EJ finally became a starter. They were rated as like the number 1 linebacker duo in the league.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't expect that to change either, but I do expect Olubi, Stewart, and Carlisle to get rotated in regular.
Carlisle, he is taking a job. He will be the best cover linebacker that we have.
He's going to be sick, dude. I can't wait.
Oh, goodness, I lost my train of thought.
I just love watching Stewart smack people, dude. I hope he gets a lot more defense.
That's why he should keep playing special teams.
Ronnie Harrison.
Yeah, I want him doing both. Ronnie Harrison.
Ronnie Harrison is playing safety now.
Okay.
He kind of does both though, and that's why he's so important to keep to me because he's versatile in that role. He can play safety and he can play linebacker.
I will tell you right now, Colts fans who's followed his career are not happy about him playing safety.
No, dude, terrible.
Everybody
he's better coming down. He's better coming down.
Everybody thinks he's a liability at safety.
But every safety we have is a liability. What are we talking about? Except for Blackman.
I was about to say, chill on Julian.
Facts.
Julian.
Facts. Yeah, he's a liability. Guess what? That's why he's a safety, dude.
Hey, that doesn't make it any better. Why move one liability to another place with more liability?
No, but I mean, obviously he's better at linebacker, but he has the ability to play back there. So you let him do both.
There you go, Nathan. You got it there. I think mostly everybody is keeping about 5, maybe 6 at most. But moving on to the cornerback room, he's saying 8 or 9 DBs. We have our starters listed as Juju Brents and Jalen Jones is our outside corners. We got Kenny Moore at the nickel, and then our starting safeties would be Nick Cross and Julian Blackman. Looks like the depth there would be so cornerback 2s would be Dallas Flowers and Darrell Baker Jr. Jalen Simpson is actually listed as our right cornerback number 3. He is not too happy about it. He thought he would have been up for one of the safety jobs. And then our nickel cornerback 3 is Chris Lamons, and then we got Micah Abraham as the number 3 and Michael Tusi. Looks like he came back this year.
Bro, and then, stop.
If you ask
not getting any better.
You still have more people.
Bro, that shit stinks.
Free safety was Rodney Thomas and Rodney Harrison Jr. And then we got Trevor Denbo at free safety.
Trevor Denbo, let's go.
Marcel Dabo at free safety 4. and Kendall Brooks at safety.
Bro, our secondary smells and sounds like ass. I want no part of that. Besides Kenny Moore and Juju and Blackman, all the rest of them, cheeks. I want no
Jalen
part of
Jones.
that.
Jalen Jones is solid.
I ain't
Have
seen
you
him
not heard?
yet.
Have you not heard about camp? Camp?
Camp.
They said he's been the worst DB by far. at camp.
As far as camp goes, every rep that has been won pretty much has been on Jalen Jones.
He's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. It'll be all right. I'm manifesting it into the universe.
That first day footage of Dallas Flowers,
Bro, Dallas Flowers got burnt like toast. Why is he still
of
in the
course
Rock?
dude, because
Why
they're
is he still
Indianapolis
on the
Colts
team,
defensive
dog?
backs. All of them get burnt like
Like,
toast, dude. There's
did
not
we go
a
out
single
and
one
say,
that's
hey,
locked down.
Greg Toller, we need you to cut your dreadlocks, dog, so we can reincarnate our DBs?
Yes,
Like,
dude.
jeez.
That's exactly what they are, dude.
why is it?
We traded Rock Ya-Sin for 1 year of Yannick Ngakoue, and this is the price we have to pay.
We have-
The
we have
Colts
never
DBs
had-
are cheeks.
Yeah, we've never had
Trash.
we've never had
Rocky said
25
ain't much better. He was just holding versus the
Ain't
Titans.
much better, but he was a little bit better.
Vontaze Davis might come out of retirement from halftime and play for us. How bad their DBs are.
Yeah,
Oh,
about
like,
that.
relax.
Easy, man.
Passed away.
About that.
Passed away, dog.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Damn. Like I forgot about that. But like, no, for real. Like it's that bad. Like it's terrible. You're reading that list. This just stinks. It's awful.
Dude, he
That's
was the
where the
last
Colts need to
lockdown
spend-
we had. Rest in peace.
Yeah, that's
was
where
the
the
last
Colts need
good
to
one.
spend all that money.
Oh, we have roads closed.
Outside of Kenny Moore and
We had 1 year of
and
Gilly Lott.
Blackman and Juju. Hey, we traded him to Dallas for a 6th-round pick, though.
Who did we get with that pick?
You got Jalen Carlisle.
Okay, fair enough.
Is
That's
Stephon
fine.
Gilmore
I'm
still? Is he still floating around?
He's
He's still
visiting.
floating around.
He's visiting Minnesota today.
I don't feel like we're going to
he'd
sign
never come
anyone
back
either,
anyways.
man. I feel like
But-
this is the group that
No,
we're doing.
Ballard's going to tell you we like the guys we have.
Yeah,
But
Justin
I don't know
Simmons is
why.
out.
I don't know
Justin
why.
Simmons is out
Yeah.
there, and we're like, oh, we like the guys.
We're
Quadre
good.
Diggs just signed with the Titans,
Yeah,
but
we're
we like the
good.
guys we have.
We're good.
You know.
You're telling me you're not
Bro.
excited about Kendall Brooks, dude?
Bro,
Marcel
who?
Debo?
Have you noticed
Who?
the people we have starting in our secondary?
Amir Speed.
You can't
Who?
even find college tape on them. You can't even find college tape on our starting safety.
That's how you know Ballard's good at his
our-
job, dog.
Oh, I
No
got.
tape.
I put up highlights of our starting safety. What are you talking about, bro?
Okay, give me some. But you know where I'm going with this, bro.
No, dude, you put up highlights on him, bro. That's the problem.
Hey, Ballard goes out and finds guys that we've never heard of, and then he's like, "Oh, Flex Seal for DBs. Let's see if they work." And 95% of them don't, dog. So
They're not diamonds in the rough. They're just rough, dude. They're just
Like,
Oh,
rough.
man, Grigson knew how to solidify that room, didn't he? Oh,
No,
I mean-
the fuck he.
We're not giving Grigson credit for a goddamn
DB,
thing, all right?
Darius Butler.
Ain't
would
no
take Darius
way.
Vontae
You
Davis.
just said Grigson, bro.
I mean,
Clayton Gathers was a
listen.
dog.
He signed Greg Toller, dude. I don't want to hear it.
I can't. This is the one part that Ballard has driven me crazy all offseason, and I can't be
Every
nice about it.
offseason.
Like,
Every
I can't.
offseason, dude.
Bro,
Bro,
signed,
besides
he
Winston saying
signed,
our
he signed,
secondary
he
sucks.
signed, he signed Landry and Greg Toller, bro.
Well, we don't know if he actually signed Landry. Landry probably just showed up because he was on roids. Like, he was like,
And he
"Let me
said,
on
all
the
right,
team."
you work here now,
And
dude.
Grigson was a terrible DB or terrible GM. Was like, "Sure, here's $30 million." So
I don't think you guys are
Realistically-
giving. I don't think you guys are giving our DBs enough credit. I think they're going into year two. They gotta.
I was about to turn the page on it.
I think Juju has been coming around more technically sound. Jalen Jones he was rated a highly good corner and man to man. Now, if you guys were discussing safety, then
those are the only
Yeah.
two dudes besides Kenny Moore and Julian Blackman. Juju and Julian Jones are the only guys who I have any type of faith in. Everybody else is a bum.
But who else? Who else really has depth across the league? Like you're saying, everybody else. I think these guys can play, and I think going into year two, why can't they get better? We expect every other year two player to get better. I don't see why our DBs can't get better. And I and I'm not saying this for Nick Cross because I was high on the guy,
he can go.
but I've lost a lot of faith in Nick Cross just because you're in year 3 and you're still having communication issues. That's just something that just shouldn't still happen. But Julian Blackman, Kenny Moore, Jalen Jones, and Juju Brents, I think all those guys. There's no reason why they reasonably shouldn't play and be able to get better.
I think they'll be way better. But anybody else behind them, garbage, bro. Like
Dallas Flowers was rated high before his injury last year.
He's the one that was
He
one up
was.
on Raheem. He had Raheem.
Bro, he's the one that always gets.
200
Anytime there's a camera,
he didn't make it to that game, so you're making up stats, bro.
That was the game.
No,
anytime there's a camera
Dallas
on,
Flowers
he gets
didn't
caught.
play that game.
That's
He
the
gets
Rebecca.
burned.
Dallas Flowers got injured week 4. He didn't
That's
make
my
it to
bad.
Saints
That's
game.
my bad. That's
I
my
will
bad.
say, man,
Dallas Flowers was rated high before he got hurt. Now, if you're talking about Darrell Baker, then okay, but like, I see no reason why we shouldn't feel the same. Like right here, Dave Stewart says, "Don't know why we released it. Isaiah Rodgers should have lived with the suspension for the year."
Facts.
But
100%.
But
Facts.
okay. But look, Isaiah Rodgers didn't get to play until year 3 or 4. So why are we giving up on guys in year 2?
The only issue is like it's the same thing of like hoping for someone to break out instead of like going into the season knowing we have somebody.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I'm with you.
No. I didn't even say hope for a breakout. All I said was just improve upon year 1. That's all I said.
Yeah, but again, we don't know if they will as well. Like we don't have any sure things other than Blackman. I feel like that's the issue. That's where the ire is. Like
I don't know because we did the same thing to Will Fries last year, and look how that turned out. All I'm saying is a year upon year upon year improvement. Like that's the goal for any player. It's not like these aren't guys that we just like. If we had to go with Darrell Baker Jr. again, I would totally understand where you guys are coming from. But I'm just saying,
it's not like you only get
can't
one
even
shot.
If we can't think that these guys can improve, with Juju and Jalen both closed the years playing pretty damn well outside of some communication issues that they had with safety.
Yeah.
In the Houston game, they were playing pretty damn well. And I know, Jalen Juju had to match up with Devontae Adams in that game that we played.
Yep.
They matched up pretty damn well versus the all-pro fucking receiver.
Well against the Raiders.
So I'm just saying, like, before we crap on these guys, let's not act like they can't continue to get better.
Yeah, we had our fun with it. I think I said this like early in the offseason. I'll say it again. Kind of echoing your point, DeMarco. There is a little room for optimism in the fact that they all have a year together now. I think the biggest issue that our rookie corners had with our young safeties is like they all just met each other. People were injured at different times. They never got a chance to build that chemistry, build that communication.
Juju didn't even play until week 5.
Exactly, right? So now going into year 2 of our corners, that is, with some team chemistry, with some communication, hopefully fixed. I agree with where you're coming from. I'm just saying the concern is that there's no like known fucking position. There's no sure thing, right? But yeah, you can make the assumption, and it's a reasonable assumption and an optimistic one, that they should be better and they can't be much worse than how they started last year.
I do want to make this clear.
Relatively good.
I do want to make this clear. I'm talking about just corner.
Me too.
I'm just talking about corner.
I'm talking about the group as a whole. I
am out on free safety. Like I don't, for Rodney Thomas and Nick Ross, I don't have high.
Trevor Denbo's going to start, dude. We'll be good.
Yeah, no.
He got a pick in practice. You said it.
The only two guys that I'm talking about is our young corners on the outside. That's it.
I'm talking about the group as a whole, that they're going into the season now that they have more time together. The group as a whole should still be better.
See, I would love to say I agree with that, but then that's kind of where I side with Damon and Zach, because if you put them as a whole, then I'm
outside,
like with that whole, that free safety, like Nick Cross and Rodney Thomas have continued to make mistake that has costed us. So
outside of Juju,
I'm just talking about individual play. So if you look at the individual play of Juju when he played well, Julian, obviously we know what he can do. Kenny Moore, we know what Kenny's going to do, and then Jalen in some games that he played well. Those 4 individually, I think they have upside to keep trending to be better.
Yeah.
Now when you gotta put them in the system, which we don't play a lot of man, so we're not going to see where these guys have improved step by step. we're going to have to depend upon Nick Cross and Rodney Thomas to do their jobs. That's where it get iffy for me.
I think this year, this is why it's so important for Gus Bradley, because we've identified these huge glaring issues, right? And if we go into this year and we see these same issues with these same players, that's showing that improvement is not happening, coaching is not happening, and we need a change. I know we've had opinions about Gus Bradley, but like that to me would be the biggest waving red flag of like, nothing's changed here. Coaches aren't doing their job. Get him the hell out of here. Let's get in someone who's going to coach these guys up and get new players. Like that would be a significant red flag.
I mean, I've been put it on coaching, bro. If I'm being honest with you, I mean, I don't trust or believe in Gus anymore. I think at this point, this is where Zach and Damon are pretty much going. It's Ballard. Like at this point, stop sitting here saying it's your coach, dude. Like, go get you a fucking veteran that you know can do the job and get the job done.
I understand that, and I'm not arguing that. I've been beating the drum all season two. Why the hell haven't we signed Justin Simmons, all these other guys, right? I'm right there with you. The only thing I'm saying about Gus is like multiple times when we've had complaints about Gus Bradley and the defense specifically, it's always been like, well, this guy was injured, this happened. Like there's some kind of like somewhat reasonable excuse, and I don't think there's one going into this season. You know what I mean? Ever comes out, but like whatever. Like there's no reason we should have the same issues we had last year.
Exactly what you just said is why these guys sit here and go crazy on our secondary. And while I sit there and say, like, damn, man, like you got no excuse no more. It's like, why not sit there and fix that issue? Because even when I sit there and say that our corners can improve, Zach will sit there and say, okay, yeah, I can understand where you're coming from with that. But it's like, why go into the season with these same holes that everybody
we know it's
and their grandmother who has never watched football know? So it's like, just go get you a free safety, possibly get you a vet corner, and give the fans a piece of sticky tape to put on their mouth and say, shut up, look, I did something. Like, it's just like, that's where it gets iffy for me. So I can get where they're coming from. I just don't want to crap on the young DBs because they're young. Like, I think they still have a chance. But it's like, once we get to that point where, like, you got, like, we play a lot of zone. Guess what? Stroud kill zone. Trevor Lawrence kill zone. The jury's still out on Levis. But, like, that's what we play. So why not fix it? Like, it goes back to the same issue that we've dealt with every year before with receiver, with left tackle, with quarterback. It's like I mean, we're not going to get anywhere by us sitting here discussing it just because we don't make any decisions. But just pointing out where I disagreed with Zach and Damon, but also where I understand where they're coming from as far as, like, why can't we just solve the issue now? Yeah. I think free safety is arguably one of the largest holes in the NFL on our roster.
Absolutely. And just to echo your point, too, like, this is why it falls on both guys, because every year we've heard, I like the guys we have. All right. If we like the guys we have, then that signifies they have been coached up to fix their mistakes from last year. So if there's not an improvement, like I said earlier, that's on Gus for not coaching. But I agree, it's on Ballard. We've had all this time to sign a fucking free safety. We didn't make any moves. We like the guys we have. All right, they better perform. They better show why you like them. Otherwise, it's on you equally, if not more, than the coaches. So yeah, I'm right there with you.
I want to hear Ballard say he likes the coach he has, because I'm gonna tell you guys right now, like I've lost all the faith I could possibly have in Gus.
It's this year for me. This is his hot seat year. Like, I guess beyond hot seat, this is like shit or get off the pot seat for me. Like, if the defense is like it was last year with a couple standouts, but ultimately a liability, especially the secondary, he's not the man for the job. He's not the man for the job.
It's time to figure it.
Homie, I have felt this way about Gus Bradley since last year. I feel this way about Ballard. Ballard is ignorantly bliss and does things on his watch and only fixes things when the media gets on his ass about it. So
I got like the true, like you just said, Zach, I got the truest love-hate relationship with Ballard, and there's no in between.
Yeah, like, you love him on draft day, you hate him the rest of the offseason.
For me, bro should have been gone last year before they hired Shane. Like, we should have had a new GM with Shane. That's just my opinion, because Ballard somehow, some way has kept his job for a decade, and dude hasn't learned how to do nothing. He's still
I can't say
bargain
that.
bin. Bro, what has he done that's any different until the media gets on him? He doesn't change.
So this is the issue, right?
So same thing with this DB, in my opinion. I really think it's going to be the exact same as it was. And if the Colts make the playoffs, it's because the players grew and got better. And they saved Ballard's ass yet again. Or if we miss the playoffs, it's going to come down to the simple fact that, hey, Gus Bradley's system sucks. Hey, Chris Ballard, you need to draft better players. And something's got to give, because insanity is expecting different results when you do the same process over and over and over and over again. And clearly, yes, Ballard can draft, but he can't build a true solid, solidified team, especially when everyone knows we probably have the 34th best free safety in the league right now. Not even a starting caliber safety.
This is where I have to disagree a little bit, though, and I completely understand that's valid criticisms and frustrations with Ballard. Zero argument here. My issue is I think us as a fan base don't give equal like credit and hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, has he failed at free safety so far? Yes, absolutely. If they go out and ball this year, then all this water under the bridge doesn't fucking matter, right?
Right.
But everything you said, 100% correct. The only argument I have to it, and I don't want to dive into another fucking Ballard debate. I feel like we've done that over the offseason
Every episode.
But I mean, that's just life as a Colts fan right now.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
But like, to me, you have to give credit of, okay, quarterback filled, running back filled, wide receiver filled, tight end filled, offensive line filled.
By how long did
Trev, let me stop you real quick right there. So see, when you say that, that's why I say this love-hate, because when you say all these positions got filled, and I've had this conversation with multiple coach chats too, it's always a year too late. Like watch next year.
That's what I was saying.
Watch next year how we probably go out and get a stud corner and a stud safety. But guess what? We could have had them this year and probably could have got
I'm not
first
arguing.
round, second round, third round. No, I'm just saying I totally get where you're coming from, but it's like we're all tired of waiting for it to be a year too late.
Sure.
Why do fans have to recognize what the issue is for this team, and you're going to go and get a coaching staff that's going to know what your issue is on this team, and then they just go out and expose it. So
that's why I led with the frustrations are valid, right? Like he has done everything you've said about him. It is all correct. I don't want to hop again on this fuck Ballard train all year when we have a lot of positions that are very good. And I understand you're late in certain situations for sure. I don't know. I feel like we fall down this rabbit hole each year of like that one position that's failed and don't look at like, well, the rest is like, we're in a position to win right now and we should make the playoffs this year. And if we don't, clear the house, by the way, fire Ballard, fire whoever you need to fire, because this is a playoff team. But we're not in that position without the moves he made. So it's I agree, love, hate. And I don't think we look at that side of it enough.
But that's the thing of why like fans like Zach and Damon get truly pissed and irritated with the mere mediocrity of Ballard, because it's like, when are we going to get past the point of saying, okay, you get a pass because these other positions are good, when you're not filling the positions that you should have filled?
Yeah,
so it's like I totally get where you're coming from, Trev, because I'm always on that side. That's too late. And it's like, when are you going to finally catch up and be like, okay,
it's like
I can figure it out. I can figure it out now, rather than just keep waiting for us to be like, okay, look, the Colts are freaking 7-5, and we're 2 games away from being locked into the playoffs. But we lose one because our young rookie undrafted corner or our safety couldn't keep up with the guy. Blah blah blah. Whatever the case may be. But it's just like, you could have fixed it long ago.
Yeah, we're sitting here preseason week 1 saying this is an issue. I get it. I 100%. I agree.
So that's why I'm saying, like, it's like, that's why guys want to just be like, just move on, let them go.
Why is it so bad that whenever he sits down in a press conference, he says, "I know you're going to say X position."
Well,
so get one.
Riddle me that.
Yeah.
That's an issue. That's an issue.
And I
There's
don't
zero
and
reason.
I don't even have an answer for you, Damon. That's why I'm saying, like, it's just like I get the side that you guys are on, and it's hard for me to keep sitting here and being like,
And let me say
yeah,
this.
we gotta,
Because I want to say this.
yeah,
Because Matt says this a lot, and Matt's right. That star talent that we talk about him drafting, hey, one, Anthony Richardson pans out, I'll eat some humble pie. Okay? We had the best middle linebacker in the league, arguably the best left guard, and the best running back. Those position groups don't win you football games. Those position groups do not win you Super Bowls. That is the flat out truth. I'm sorry. That team that does not. What wins you a Super Bowl? I just watched Patrick Mahomes win with wide receivers that we could probably name after about 5 minutes of thinking, oh yeah, that's right. That's who was on this team this year. Okay, yeah, Travis Kelce. Okay, but that's what I'm saying is the credit that we can give him. Sure, you drafted an All-Pro, Hall of Fame legacy type of player, but the players that he drafted would not mold into something that would have won us a Super Bowl. That window for those guys is already gone.
yeah. See,
For that
and
crew,
that's what, and see, that's where I go back with Damon, because it's just like he just said, the only way that Ballard makes it out of this is if Anthony Richardson does some Patrick Mahomes type shit and make us all eat humble pie because the other positions aren't what they should be. So it's like I totally get where these guys are coming from, where they're saying, like, if you have other positions that are really good or elite, then they cover for you where you might lack. So it's like we're depending all upon Anthony Richardson, and that's where I come back and I'm like, Anthony Richardson has to be a guy so we can all, get over these holes, because that's what I keep trying to tell the Colts fans that overreact and say, hey, we need a safety or a corner, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I want to see Anthony Richardson. I really want to see what he can give us. But at the same time, it's like, the hole is there, man. You gotta
do something.
There's
no reason Justin Simmons isn't suiting up in the horseshoe every day.
Yeah,
there's no reason.
Hold on. I'm gonna let you go real quick, Zach, but I just wanted to chime on this because
I got to get out of here, guys. I got to work in the morning, so like, I'm gonna get off here. It's 10 o'clock. Like, I gotta go to bed. I gotta get up early.
Gotcha. Appreciate you, bro.
Godspeed, brother.
Later, man.
Dave Stewart is saying here, wonder what the issue is on Simmons. Not that we haven't signed him, but no one has. Yeah, it looks like the issue with Simmons is money. He wants pretty much all he can get for his contract. So that's what he's looking for. He just visited with the Saints and he left there. So we still got a chance to sign him, but it's just like it's money. We know Ballard is cheap. That's why he's going to try and get the lowest dime there. Simmons wants to play for the closest he can to a contender and get good money. So
that's what's weird with Simmons too, though. Is like he's still playing at that level where he deserves to get paid. So it's like it's interesting that no one has signed him to that. Like I understand Ballard's cheap.
Teams aren't seeing the value in free safety right now just because you can.
Till you get burnt,
you can kind of replace him with a younger guy. I mean, I can't speak for every team, but just seeing that's typically like how the market goes for every position, different years. You'll see it every year. You'll see some positions start to be devalued, but that's just where that
it turns back around. Yeah,
linebacker,
100%.
Yeah, linebacker, running back. I mean, some years you even see it wide receivers. Outside of the big names that all got paid this year, you see some years where you're like, wow, what the hell? That guy went for this. So just
to say we covered the entire team's depth chart. Starting kicker, Matt Gay. Starting punter, Rigo Sanchez. Starting long snapper, Luke Rhodes. There you go. That's our special teams.
Yeah, man.
It does say we have Spencer Schrader on here, but I imagine he's just camp competition to keep Gay sharp. We signed that dude for so much as a kicker. Like, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah. So we got the game tomorrow. Damon, I know you kind of jumped in here a little bit late, but what are your expectations for tomorrow? Looks like we heard the starters will be playing a series or two.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty, I think, vanilla routes. It's not going to be anything crazy deep or deep crossing. I think it's going to be a lot of curls, ins and outs, couple power football plays.
Preseason football.
Plays. Yeah, and, dude, I'll tell you what I'm excited about. Dude, we got some sick backup quarterbacks that are going to play this preseason. Slovis, Bean, Ellinger's pretty electric in the preseason as well. I bet Joe Flacco, I bet, does not get a rep. I'll be honest with you.
He shouldn't.
He
doesn't
need
to.
No, he doesn't.
You said exactly what we said.
So, dude, I'm so pumped to see these. But I'll tell you the player that I think I'm most excited to see is Gold.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, we kind
think
of skipped over that.
yeah, that guy is going to be
He's our starting slot now, so I don't know how much
with Downs being out, and like I know we didn't get to touch on that at all, but Nick Cross, it was just a boneheaded play. Like I get some of what he said. It's football. It's heat of the moment, bro. We're talking contactless practice.
You're
What
a
are you doing?
professional too, dude.
Not even contact. You're talking 7-on-7. Like, bro, you learn this
Hey.
as a goddamn 7-year-old.
now.
Could you imagine? I mean, that's like this. You know,
Heat of the moment is
you hit
bullshit
Stick
for a
Spencer
professional,
James.
dude.
Come on.
Yeah, you get paid so much money to know what the hell you're doing out there. Like, heat of the moment does not phase it. It's bullshit, dude. Like, own it. I'm not saying cut the guy, send him away, any of that shit, but own what you did, dude. You made a conscious decision.
I promise you right now, if Ballard didn't trade up for him a couple years ago, he would have been cut.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, man. We
think,
got to be smarter than that.
You think he's gonna be back week 1? Not to change topic super quick.
Josh Downs?
Yeah. Seriously,
I don't want him to come back week 1.
I do.
I want Anthony Gold to get all the reps, do everything he can to be the guy. Play week 1. Worst case scenario, we get Josh back week 2. Make sure he's completely healthy for a full season.
I just don't want it to turn into one of those nagging injuries.
Yeah, exactly. If Downs is completely healthy week 1, then I'm all for it. But I'd personally rather just let Anthony go
0 chances,
and just let Josh rest completely, fully healthy. He said 4 to 6 weeks. Week 1 will be exactly 4 weeks. So if Josh Downs need another week or 2, let him have it.
Yeah, that's fine, dude. I'd rather him be fully healthy for 15 games.
It's
than
just
try to risk it and re-aggravate it or something stupid.
That guy. That guy legitimately can be the best receiver on our. I think he does have the talent to be the best receiver. And if he would have played a full season last year, he would have led the team in receiving yards. He had like 750 yards, and bro, yeah, he had like over 700 yards. And we played 11 games.
I know he played. I want to say 14 games, but he wasn't completely healthy, and he had 700 yards. There was no way he was going to beat out Pittman. I do get what you're saying, though, Damon.
He has the talent to be the best receiver on our team. I think.
I completely agree, and that's exactly why I said let him take whatever time he needs.
Kid's a superstar
to come back and be.
That's what disappoints me. That's what makes me so
aggravated.
You know what I mean?
That's what made me irritated with Cross, because they said Steichen had a conversation with him right after that practice. They asked Nick Cross, I want to say the next day or the next practice or whatever, and asked him if anything would have been different. He said he would have done the exact same thing.
What are you talking about, dude?
So like I said, if he wasn't traded up for when Ballard did it a couple years ago,
but I think that means that conversation with Steichen and him may have went differently than we thought.
I think is because, and I'm not trying to give him any credit, because at this point, like you guys know, I had a lot of faith in him and Rodney Thomas being our starting safeties. I think it's just him thinking that he really wants to earn this job, and he's putting it above anything else because he knows his career is kind of depending on it at this point. That's what I think it was because. And again, I'm not trying to give him any slack. I don't want to cut him none. Like, if it was me, I'd put him number 4 on the depth chart to make him play against freaking.
Yeah, you're going to earn every rep.
6th and 7th string and undrafted guys. That's what I would make him do, personally. But I just think that's where his mindset is at, because he knows, like, this is year 3 for him. You got traded up for. It's boom or break here. So that's where I think his mind is at.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it kind of went that way either, because we said it all last year. Like, Steichen is not shy about holding guys accountable and sticking to it. He will bench your ass. He'll sit you down and make you want, like, he is that dude. You know, he'll do it. So if he felt serious enough to bench him, I don't think we'll see much across early on until he earns his way back. You know,
100%. Davis coming in here. He said, I thought I heard if free agents are signed before the season, the money is fully guaranteed. I thought that was after the season was started.
I have no idea.
I'm not 100% certain on that one, Dave, but I thought it was after the July 1 deadline. I think it was after that contracts become fully guaranteed. That's why teams are a little bit more reluctant, unless they absolutely need.
Dude, either way, to me, a 1-year deal wouldn't even affect the cap. He'd be a free agent after the season. Like, give him whatever he wants for 1 year. Just get him in the in the shoe, man. I'm sure he's looking for a longer term deal, so it's more on his side, I'm sure. But
you see those short term deals getting really popular with DBs lately.
I would
1,
love it,
2
dude.
year
Just get him
terms.
in 1 year.
It's that safety position.
Yep.
Would be
Yeah,
nice.
I have to check on that one and see. But I mean, everybody in Colts Nation knows like it's either Justin Simmons is signing with the Colts or he's signing somewhere else. So we would really like to get this position filled. Um, it would be nice to get a veteran man that you know that you can depend
Yeah.
upon to
Any
have the
official stuff
experience.
about the
Um,
conversation? Have we reached out? Is there
I
anything official?
mean, we got the reporters, Destin, and Nate Atkins, a few others who have said we've had some conversations. We haven't had him in for a visit. The Saints had him for a visit, so there's really nothing really to go off of.
Nothing concrete.
That is out of our ballpark. I'm sorry. We will call you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, man, it's
Wait till you're cheap, dude.
yeah,
We'll sign him in 5 years when he's ready to retire, I'm sure.
34,
I
yeah,
keep-
100%.
I keep trying not to get my hopes up there. I tell everybody as soon as somebody say anything about Justin Simmons, I say, yeah, we're not going to sign anybody. Sean is coming here, Concrete. He is not signing with New Orleans, or he didn't yet. So it's still in the air. He left without a deal, which is always a good thing if you're a team looking to sign him.
Right. I mean, and this is the first week of preseason, so a lot of teams.
I'm guessing he wants $10 million guaranteed for the year,
Something
and
like that.
I don't think most teams are willing to offer that.
Let
If
him
you
have
look
it.
at Quandre Diggs just got $3 million guaranteed from the
Yeah,
Titans.
and they're around the same caliber.
So the market isn't really favoring his way. I think at most he might get 7-8 million guaranteed, and I think he's waiting for somebody to need more than that. So I don't know where you heard that from, Sean. But yeah, I would have did it. I would have did it for 13.
I would have done it months ago so he could be there for training camp. But yeah, as soon as he was cut, the next day I was like, all right, let's get a Indianapolis Colts signed Justin Simmons post out here. What are we waiting for?
Yeah, so that's where it's at with that. I mean, I think we all know. I think we all know what's going on here. We've done it with left tackle. We've done it with receiver. We've done it with quarterback. We've done it with pretty much every other position. So we kind of know what Ballard's kind of doing here. Just hate that it comes to this because if Justin Simmons signs somewhere else, we're pretty much at that point. I don't think there's another free safety that I want.
No. You just locked in with Thomas, dude.
Damon, I know it's a tough one for you, especially you and Zach, but I would say just have some faith in those young corners. I think they will improve. As for free safety, I got nothing to say there. That's all my faith is on young corners just improving. I promise you, I got what's little left in me in free safety. I'm hoping AR just puts up 40 points a game, so then it really doesn't matter. Yeah, man, I think free safety has to be something we fix, especially in a passing league.
Yeah, well, hey, tomorrow, preseason football.
I'm excited.
Finally here.
I need AR to go crazy.
I got a bunch of yard work to do tomorrow, man. I'm going to have the game up while I cut some trees, but
I usually do that. I have my headphones on and phone in my pocket to see how it goes. But yeah, man, I think that'll do it for us here tonight. I wanted to get into a little bit with the division, but we actually went a little bit further deep dive into that depth chart. Didn't think we would go that far into it, but definitely appreciate the conversation, man. Missed having it with all of you guys, man.
Yeah,
we got into
we're
a little
back.
bit of passion there. I loved it. I loved to have it and everything. No, we do not have a second kicker. Matt Gay is the guy. We spent all that money. If we bring another guy on, Ballard definitely.
I'm about to say technically we have one on the roster right now, Spencer Schrader, but he's not.
Yeah,
he's probably just keeping Gay sharp is all. He's not.
He's just there for the preseason, just in case we need to make a tackle.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, appreciate everybody who came through. Look forward to the season. Can't wait to get to it. Obviously, everybody knows what our issues are, what our positives are. Can't wait to see, man. Did want to get into it a little bit, but our division rivals all put up pretty impressive starts to their drives and opening the season. So hopefully the Colts can go out and do that again. Love to have my guys back. Really appreciate it, man. We appreciate everybody who came in. Definitely can't wait to get the season underway. Hopefully we can get Yeah, definitely need Matt back, man. Hopefully we can get the season predictions in within the next 2 to 3 weeks before the season actually gets underway, just so you guys can have that out there. Yeah, hopefully these guys can keep busy and they can be out here with me. We'll keep giving you guys more content. Appreciate all you guys who came through. Let's get the 2024 season underway. Let's go tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll have a great game for our starters and it looks real smooth. But as always, go Colts.
Go, everybody.
Shout out to ZTV.
Second down, he fakes the Taylor, fires over the middle,